Very pleasant evening, one and all. So, welcome to the 16th session of WCOP training session in certificate program in child psychology, school psychology. So, today we have our chief guest, chief patrons of WCOP, Professor P.V. Ramanamurthy Garu, Professor Girishwar Mishra Garu, patrons of WCOP, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan Garu, and also the chairman for the 3 months training program. And another patron, Professor R.N. Singh Garu, Professor B.G. Reddy Garu, President WCOP, General Secretary Professor Subhashini, Professor V. Suresh, Treasurer WCOP, and today's chairperson. One second. Today's chairperson, Professor Aradhana Shukla, and today's chief guest, Matt Perelstein. I'm sorry if I spelled it, pronounced it wrong. Matt Perelstein, right? And special invitee, MC Babu Reddy Garu, and the resource person, Dr. Chini Simon Garu. So I request Professor B.G. Reddy Garu to initiate the program.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Chief patrons of WCOP, Professor P.V. Ramamurthy, Professor Girishwar Mishra ji, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, Professor R.N. Singh, Professor Subhashini, the General Secretary of WCOP, the Treasurer, Professor V. Suresh, and our important chief guest, Matt Perelstein. This is second time. He is with us. Really wholeheartedly welcoming you, sir. Then our Aradhana Shukla happened to be the chairperson. She may join so little bit lately. And our special invitee, just regional accounts officer, Professor C. Babu Reddy, is from Nehru Yuvak Kendra. So actually, I am just 2 words about Babu Reddy. I am telling again, Ramadevi did not introduce. Babu Reddy since just 20 years, I have been knowing Babu Reddy. He's working as an accounts officer. Now he got promoted as a regional accounts officer. Through him, we are going to have all there are about in AP, 14 Nehru Yuvak Kendras are there. So they badly need of WCOP services. Particularly, they are dealing with 18 years old to 25 years youth, particularly in rural areas as well as in urban areas. So there's our, actually I invited him. Through him, just we are going to have another 14 Nehru Yuvak Kendra coordinators and regional coordinator. And for them, the WCOP services are quite required. So in that connection, just I also involved in many more just programs. Just Babu Reddy invited me as far as youth leadership camps are concerned. So I is a well-renowned person as far as Chittoor district is concerned. I am welcoming our Babu Reddy and welcoming Professor Krishnamurthy, then today's resource person and course coordinator Dr. Ashok, and executive committee members, core committee members, as well as the beloved participants. Now, I wholeheartedly inviting, welcoming everybody. Now, I request Damar Devi just to go ahead.
So, once again, welcome. So, I request chief guest to speak a few words. Let me introduce who is our chief guest. So, our chief guest is Matt Perelstein. After teaching deep healing emotional intelligence EQ workshops for over 35 years, Matt Perelstein has touched thousands through his humor, passion, wisdom, and loving insight. Most people have never heard the concept of being smart with our heart, mind, and feeling. So Matt has made it his mission to share EQ with as many as people possible worldwide. People are dying quite literally to know what we know about EQ. Understanding and managing our inner world is no longer just a nice to have proficiency. It is A set of urgent need to have survival coping skills that must be shared and made available to all ages and education levels from preschool to PhD. Learning to understand, manage, and even enjoy your thoughts, feelings, decisions, and actions is a pathway to inner peace, interpersonal peace, and social peace, ultimately leading to global peace. It is not only the only ingredient we need, but it must be in the mix. So join Matt as we explore one of the most relevant and practical subjects there is the last great adventure on earth, our journey into and through our inner world, own inner world. And then please let's share what we know with the many who don't know it too. So we heartily welcome you, sir. I request
Once
you to
again,
speak a
welcome
few.
our
I,
Matt
ha-
Christian from United States of America.
I heartily welcome you, sir. He is from USA, and I
Thank you.
request
Thank
you to
you.
kindly speak a few words to the gathering.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for a nice introduction. Thank you for having me, Dr. Reddy, and welcome to all. And congratulations to graduates. Congratulations. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
I believe that school counseling is one of the most important jobs there is, providing emotional guidance and support to our young ones, helping them learn. Excuse me, helping them learn those critical emotional intelligence skills to supplement their left brain, their logical learning, the cognitive learning. They're learning the right brain, the emotional side, and it's so important these days. As you mentioned, people really are dying to know what we know about emotional intelligence. It used to be a nice to have skill, but now it is a life-saving, critical coping skills. So thank you for helping kids and others learn about those important skills. We have to be able to manage our inner world. We call it positive mental health. You know how mental health has kind of a negative to it about dealing with our pain and our issues and our disorders, et cetera. And we do need to deal with those, but we don't have to just go back to normal. We can do better than that. We can become more positive by learning how to deal with our emotions inside, dealing with the negatives. We can actually become more positive, more loving, more hopeful, more peaceful, more happier, etc. So we're calling it positive mental health, and I'm really hoping you can bring that to the kids and to the world as we are. We have found that emotional intelligence and dealing with our emotions, and managing our emotions, is one of the most important skills there is. It's more important than we ever imagined, with their study after study after study showing how incredibly important it is for us to deal with our emotional side, not just our cognitive side. If we can deal with our negative emotions, our fear, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, depression, etc., if we can deal with those, then we can come back up to good and actually become even better, even more positive. So I'm proposing, and our nonprofit is proposing, that the goal of the counseling is to teach the kids how to be peaceful. We can learn. It's a teachable skill. We can learn how to create inner peace inside of us first, inner peace, then interpersonal peace between us, and social peace among us, kind of like we're doing right now. All of us are getting along, as far as I know. So we're being successful at this moment, but we can teach how to be peaceful. And if people don't know, we don't usually use that word peace in school and at home and at work. We don't use it, and we need to be able to learn how to create peace inside of us and around us. And the point of our nonprofit is that if we can teach enough people how to be peaceful inside, maybe we can have big peace on the outside. Let me read a quick quote and then I'll stop. From the Dalai Lama, he said, "Through inner peace, genuine world peace can be achieved." Right? A lot of people think world peace cannot be achieved. Dalai Lama thinks it can, and I agree. That's the point of my work. And he said, peace must first be created within ourselves, then gradually expanded to include our friends, our families, our communities, and ultimately the whole planet. So we're going for peace. I wish you guys the best. Listen well, care about the kids. It's really wonderful. See if you can connect them with each other. Connection is such an important part of this whole thing. And let them know that they're not alone with their feelings and all of what's going on inside of them. And spread the word about how to be peaceful and how to deal with your emotions. So thank you to you all. I appreciate you having me, and I wish you the very, very best in your future.
Thank you, Professor Matt Trilston. Thank you for your nice gesture. And once again, on behalf, personal behalf, on behalf of WCOP World Congress of Psychologists, I really thank you for having accepting with us to be with us as chief guest and addressing the gathering. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Dr. Ramadevi.
Thank you, Mr. Matt, for that such a sweet message. So, sir, Mrs. Aradhana Shukla is in, sir.
Then Babu Reddy is there.
Okay, I think you introduced him. So today we have a special invitee, Mr. Professor Babu Reddy, sir. I would like to, as Professor Reddy sir has introduced him, I don't think I needed to repeat it again. So I request Babu Reddy sir to speak a few words to the people in the group. Hello.
Babu
I
Reddy.
request Babu Reddy sir to speak a few words to the group.
Babu Reddy, unmute yourself and speak. Please start video.
I request Babu Reddy sir to speak a few words. Please unmute yourself, sir.
Babu Reddy, please unmute yourself and speak. Babu Reddy, మేము వినపడడం లేదా?
Shall
Ramadevi,
sir?
there is some technical problem for Babu Reddy. You just go ahead. Now
Okay,
request
sir.
the speaker.
Okay. So let me introduce today's speaker, Dr. Chilli Simon Garu. She has completed a PhD from SV University Tirupati. She has more than 30 years of teaching experience, and she has been rendering her services to the children in rural areas. She has involved in giving career guidance classes to the children in schools and colleges and family counseling in the villages of Guntur district. At present, she is working as a school assistant math teacher in Guntur district. She has been a member of MARG voluntary organization, which is working to meet the educational needs of orphan children, widows, and the needy. So she has attended several conferences and workshops and seminars, and she has received the Best Teacher Award at district level by the government of AP and Best Resource Person MRP awarded at state level by the government of AP. And she has also received Bharat Mahila Siromani Award by the Healthcare International Society. We heartily welcome you, madam. You have been such a sweet personality in anchoring the show. Today, I welcome you the session again, and kindly speak a few words and proceed with the session, sir. Session, madam.
Thank you very much,
madam.
Devi Garu. Thank you very much for introducing me to the group. Respected chief patrons, the president, the general secretary, the treasurer, and all the committee members of WCOP, the chairperson of this program, Professor Vedagiri Ganeshan, chief guest Matt Perelstein, the chairperson of today's program, Professor Aradhana Shukla, and all the other guests of honor. I feel pleased and privileged to share some of my thoughts about the need of counseling in schools. I'm thankful to the president of WCOP, Dr. B.G. Reddy, who is my guide in Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, for making me a part of this program and for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts in this session today. This pleasant evening, I again thank each and every one of you who are present here for sparing your time out of your busy schedules. So to start with, I don't want to tell about what is counseling, what is guidance, the difference between guidance and counseling, what should a guide or counselor do in schools or in colleges or in family matters, because already all these things are known to us. It's not that other things are not known, but these things we are familiar with. And in the last session, we had seen Madam sharing her thoughts regarding the characteristics of counselor. What should a counselor do and how he should behave? So let us today see, I want to share some thoughts about the need of counseling in schools. Why do we need counseling, especially which I feel the need of the hour today? In our country, it's very common to see the school students living under the state of stress and anxiety. And these children often need help in coping with different situations, which include distress in facing daily hassles or irritating and inconvenient situations in their life, in their schools also. Problems regarding decision making, challenges of school system, exam anxiety, low performance in tests or exams, and tension due to results they are expecting, and stress due to irrational expectations of parents, teachers, and school management, peer group stress, and lack of concentration in their schoolwork, reduced motivation to do classwork and homework, absenteeism and irregularity to school, lack of interest to do classroom activities, and relationship with teachers and peer group, behavioral problems, and addiction to mobile, and more and more and more. Many problems faced by the children due to different issues. Why? Why are all these problems? Why should the child face all these problems? Maybe because their needs are not met properly. Their physical needs, their social needs, their psychological needs, their academic needs, and other needs may not be met properly as per the expectations of the child. So now let us try to see where and why the children or the students need help or need counseling in coping these situations. Let's try to understand them under different headings. The first could be physical situations, the problems faced by the children in physical situations. Under physical situations, we can speak of physical appearance. Maybe in early childhood, the children may not bother of their color complexion, leanness or obesity, shortness of their stature, etc. But as they grow up during their late childhood or teenage, they start getting worried about their physical appearance, which may lead to low self-esteem, irritated behavior, jealousy, etc. The feelings of negative emotions. In this case, let me share the experience of a girl of my student, who is also my student. As long as she was in lower sections, that is in primary school, she was an active girl. Her complexion, she is a black girl, black in color, very lean in structure, but very active in classroom activities and in other school activities as well. But after her puberty, I noticed that after 2 or 3 months of attending the school after her puberty, I noticed that she developed withdrawal behavior. She became so silent, very moody, and not very happy, not very active also in classroom activities. At the age of 12, she was matured. And since then, I started just observing her. And one fine day, I asked her, what was the reason for her behavior, for her withdrawal behavior, for being so silent, for not being active? After a lot of pestering and requesting, she came out with the problem, saying that her grandparents and her grandmother and all her neighbors, especially, they started teasing her, saying that she is looking so devilish. Who will marry you? Saying all such kind of things. So because of that, she started developing that withdrawal behavior. She thought of thinking, she thought that she developed a thinking that nobody likes her, and she is not a beautiful girl, so nobody will be, she will not be attracted to anybody, such kind of things. So in such cases, definitely there is a need of counseling. Counseling to the children who are very much worried about their physical appearance. Then under the same heading, we can also talk of health and hygienic conditions, which is very, very important for healthy growth of children. Some children come to school without taking bath or changing clothes, so untidy or very shabby to look at, in spite of repeated sayings. And such children, with such children, the other children will be behaving in such a way that showing their disliking towards them. They don't want to sit beside them. So in such cases, they need counseling. Those children who are not very much interested in taking care of their health and hygienic conditions, we need counseling. So in physical situations also, definitely, because majority of the children are coming to school in health and hygienic conditions, but there are children whose parents are very much busy in their household work or going to field work or other works. So in such cases, definitely we need to give counseling to them. Then in second cases, the second one is emotional situations. Negative emotions like anger, fear, frustration, jealousy, sadness, depression, loneliness, disgust, etc. And we can talk of positive emotions like joy, gratitude, love, amusement, pride, etc. When the children go to the extremities of these either negative or positive emotions in their expression, definitely that will fetch some problems to them. For example, cases of love between a boy and girl, especially in school life, we find some of the boys writing girls' names, those whom they like, on blackboard, or some threatening them. So when they go to the extreme level, they need counseling. Then phobias, which are developed because of these expressions of negative or positive emotions at their extreme level, n number of fears, which are mostly irrational. So such type of students who are having these irrational fears, they need counseling. They need counseling to bring these children out from those irrational fears to the reality of life situations. Then we can also talk of psychological situations where the children in school develop stress, especially due to irrational expectations of parents, teachers, and management. Just because the parents could not become doctors, or they could not do their engineering, or they could not go for CA or other professional courses, they want their children to become doctors, to become engineers, to study in the most famous business schools, etc. So as a result, when the parents begin to think that their children should be the topper, I want my child as a doctor, I want my child to be an engineer, I want my child to go abroad and earn a lot of money. Just because I could not become a doctor, I want to see my child as a doctor. So they are after them, asking them to read and read and read and nothing else. No physical exercises, no games, no relaxation. So that results in development of stress upon the child. That also develop exam anxiety because they are targeted. They have to fulfill the aim of the parents getting first rank or good rank so that they can get a seat in good reputed colleges. That also may lead to a kind of low performance in tests and exams because of the stress the child is undergoing. Then they have result tensions. So because of these tensions, some of the children are developing suicidal thoughts. They attempt suicides, and some of them even they take out their lives. Why all this is happening? Because of the stress they are developing due to irrational expectations, high expectations of the parents towards their children. And it's very alarming to note that in India, a country which is the world's second most populous nation, has one of the highest suicide rates in the age group of 14 to 20 years. In 2015, the National Crime Records Bureau revealed the shocking data that in India, every hour a student commits suicide. The major reason behind this situation is nothing but the failures in examinations or mental disturbance due to academic pressure, which is developed to get higher ranks, higher percentages, to get good ranks, state first, to stand first in their institution, etc. And in 2018, An annual international career and college conference took place where 100 speakers could share their research performed in school education sector and address the 40 sessions very happily. And the conference concluded saying that India is in urgent need of counseling professionals in schools and colleges due to the increase in the suicidal rate. Due to some mental health issues or physical abuses, the rate of the suicidal cases of students in school has increased comparatively. Again, according to the NCRB's death report in 2020, around 8.2% of the students in the country died by suicide. And according to the latest report given by the same bureau, India recorded a new a percentage that is an alarming percentage, that is 21.2%, which is very, very sharply risen in 5 years of time. So in India, as we have heard previously, there are students committing suicide with about 38 such suicides reported every day, according to the data compiled by NCRB. So there's a dire need for counseling in schools to control this tendency in the students. Not only this, pressure group stress and peer group stress and stress due to the folks living in surrounding who believe in keeping students under their control, monitoring their every activities and pushing them on par side towards the higher achievements in the competitive world today. It also leads to depression. So there is a need for counseling in order to bring such cases to bring out of depression and to lower the rate of suicides in the school population. Then coming to social and cultural issues. Child abuse, bullying, physical violence, relationship with teachers and peers, and gender discrimination, caste and creed, etc. These lead the children in order to develop a kind of withdrawal behavior and also anxiety to go to school. Here I would like to share the experience of a child of age 10 years who is afraid to come to school. So this girl has to walk nearly half a kilometer from her home to school. She is also studying in the school where I am working, and now she is in her she'll be coming to 6th standard. So she started crying in the house, telling her parents that she doesn't want to go to school. So her parents brought the child and then asked the reason. They wanted to find out the reason. The child was not telling them reason. So they thought that something must have happened in the school. So they came. They came and asked me, "Madam, this girl is not willing to come to school. What is the cause? Did anything happen in the school?" So I asked the girl, what is the reason? In the beginning, she was not willing to share. Then I told the parents, I promised them that I will let them know the reason. I'll find out later and ask them to leave the school. And later I asked the child, why, what is the reason? She came up with the reason. She said, there are a group of boys who are sitting in the center nearer to the school, and they start teasing this girl while she was coming to school and going home. They started even to manhandle her. So she was afraid to come to school. So I told the parents about this reason. And then later on, we had to go and talk to the village elders and then set right the issue. In such cases, we need counseling. counseling to make the child to come to school regularly. Counseling in order to find out their needs and then act accordingly so that their fears are reduced. Fear of coming to school or fear of doing something else or not being able to do work properly. All these things can be reduced slowly and the problems can be solved through counseling. Hence is the need for counseling in these social issues. Not only this, family situations wherein we find withdrawal symptoms of the child, especially in this case also, I want to give an example, share my experience. We had a boy in elementary section. He just run away from the house. And he goes, he doesn't know where he goes and he doesn't tell where he goes. But later, as and when he likes, he'll come back to home. Her mother was worried. Father is a drunkard and he starts beating wife for money, asking for money. He doesn't do any work. But the money which she gets after going home, after going for field work and all, even that money he takes and goes and drinks and comes and does all sorts of nonsensical things. So looking at this boy had developed withdrawal symptom, running away from home. He doesn't want to stay in home because he could not see his mother crying. And he couldn't stop his father from beating his mother. So the tender heart was hurt very much. So he just runs away. And when he could not when he could not face anymore these difficulty situations, he comes back whenever he wants to his mother. So the time went on like that. And when this boy was 14 years, his father expired. Then suddenly, after his father expired, suddenly the boy came to my house one day in the evening and asked, Madam, I want to talk to you. Please help me to find some work so that I can take care of my mother and my two younger brothers. I was alarmed. Then I said, you don't stay at home properly. You simply run away from home every now and then. How can I ask somebody in order to give you some work? And if you run away from work like that, what will happen to those who hire you? He said, he came out. This had happened because of my father. Now, since he is no more, I want to take up the responsibility of my mother. So such kind of cases, we need counseling. Counseling at school level, because the children by themselves do not come out with the problems. As teachers, it is our responsibility, our duty to just watch the children, observe the children, and find out the situations they are in, whether they are happy or not, whether they are, why they are sad, if they are sad. If they are happy, what is the reason for their happiness? If they are crying, what is the reason behind their sadness? All these things, if we can observe, definitely we can go for counseling. Hence is the need for counseling in the social issues of the child, in the family issues of the child. Then coming to academic issues, there are lots and lots and lots of problems that as teachers, we are looking at the children facing so many problems due to reduced motivation to do their classwork and homework. The problems due to difficulty in completing their projects or assignments. The problems of absenteeism or irregularity to school. The problems due to lack of interest in classroom activities. And some of the children facing problem of not liking their teachers or not liking their the students of their classroom. Then the results and the poor performance in tests and exams. The problems due to inability to concentrate on studies and in their schoolwork, the problems because of lack of communication skills, etc., etc. There are so many more problems. As per the Indian Council of Medical Research, about 13% of the school students in India suffer from mental, emotional, and communicative problems. Hence is the need for counseling in school level, because all these academic issues, in the academic issues, the problems which the students are facing, they will result in poor performance of the examinations, which again develops the stress among the students. It develops fear, it develops anxiety, which ultimately lead to their mental health issues. They will not be able to have balanced emotional life because of these stress, fear, and anxiety that they are developing because of these academic issues. Therefore, they need counseling. Then the most important part, especially of this pandemic, after this pandemic period, it is addiction to social and electronic media. Today we find almost all the students in the school are addicted to mobile games. And at present, this is the problem which is faced by 99% of the students, especially after this pandemic period. The growing involvement of the students with social media, technology, and other devices like computer games or mobile usage and addiction to mobile, and sometimes it is addiction to especially the games which they are playing now in the mobile. It's giving a strong call for the need of counseling in schools, because after this pandemic, when during this pandemic, when the students are away from school, they are made to sit at home and go for online education, online work. These students are addicted to mobile, where each of the student wants to own a mobile. I'll give you, I'll share, I would like to share an experience. I had a student in 6th class before pandemic. Now he's coming to 9th standard. A very brilliant boy, coming very poor background. Economically, they are very poor. His father passed away during pandemic period only due to COVID, in the first phase of COVID, and his mother has to bring him up. So the boy did not want to come to school after the pandemic, last year after the reopening in August. So I had just waited for the boy because he was a brilliant boy. I wanted we are giving special coaching to that some students, so that they can go to NMMS examination. So this boy had not turned up to October. So I asked other boys what had happened to Ramu, why he is not turning up. They said he is simply sitting at home, madam. He doesn't want to come to school. So I had gone to the boy's house one fine morning, and during school time only, and asked him why he is not willing to come. You know what he says? My mother did not buy me a mobile, an Android phone, so I don't want to come to school. Why do you need a mobile? Because all my friends are having mobiles and they're playing games, and it is very interesting. So I also want to play games. So I said, your mother doesn't have money. You know what he's saying? I have my own money, Ammavadi money is there, which our chief minister is giving. What happened to that money? So I want my mother to buy me a mobile, then only I will come to school. In such cases, we need counseling. We need to counsel the child to make him understand their economic position, to make him understand the greatness of his mother, the hard work that the mother is doing for the betterment of the child, for his bright future. How the teachers are worried about his future. How many opportunities are there to buy such kind of mobiles later in his life when he is settled in a good job. So to tell him all these things, we need counseling. This is not, Ramu is not the only case. There are many of these cases where the children are willing, or the children are ready to go even their school hours in order to play mobile games. They are addicted a lot to the electronic media, especially playing of games. And along with playing of games, and some students, the grown-up students, they are also used to watching porn videos, and because of that, facing a lot of problems due to attraction between opposite sex, and they are becoming very, very possessive in nature. They are just neglecting not only studies, they are neglecting their parents, they are neglecting the teachers. They just don't want to listen to anybody. They want to do what they want to, whether it is right or wrong. So in such cases, we need counseling. There is a dire need of counseling today to make the children walk in right path, to tell them the ethics, the importance of their school age, the importance of their family life, the importance of using other media, but in a positive way. Why I want to tell, or why I'm telling all this is, in India, the generation has been living into a zone where individual hesitates to share all his or her sufferings of day-to-day life with others. So in such cases, definitely they need counseling to first come out of their way, to just pour out all the sufferings which they are undergoing. Especially the school students mostly undergo depression, and the students even undergo the manic depression, which is a very serious mental illness in which they experience extreme changes in their moods. Sometimes experiencing the state of sudden excitement, and sometimes feeling very, very unhappy. The reason they do not know for their behavior. So as education is considered as the cornerstone for the development of any nation, I wonder if the present system of education is catering to the moral education and mental health development of the students. Numerous educational projects with new methods and innovations have been taking place over the years. But why the system of education is failing now to find a solution to student problems in behaviors, problematic behaviors, which are increasing harrowingly, to the increasing academic pressures and the difficulties in adjusting with parents, teachers, and peers, as well as adjusting themselves the rapid transition of life. In a report of a study on the secondary level students, as published in Times of India Educational Desk, it is found that 21% students are either suffering from a type of problem behavior such as emotional symptoms, conduct problems, hyperactivity, inattention, peer group problems, or they are at risk of having such type of problems. As mentioned earlier, the incidents which are related to mental health and problem behavior have become very frequent in the daily newspapers of the country, and suicide, vandalism, peer bullying, and absenteeism among the school-going children are also on the rise. So with each passing year, it has become crystal clear that only providing quality education will not help the underprivileged children to overcome the challenges that they daily face in their lives. As teachers, we have to identify the issues and try to find solutions to these problems. From my own personal experience of working with the children, I understand how indispensable it is to appoint professional counselors who can cater to the needs of the students suffering in the school, both mentally and physically. With the present increase in anxiety level and complexities in daily living, and more attitude of people, more impersonal attitude of people, the need for some formal counseling is felt more today, more than ever before. It's high time for us to realize the need to counseling in schools and colleges in order to encourage the students to be comfortable in school arena so that they perform well in their academic journey. So counseling for students is the need of the hour today to better the concentration level of the students, to develop the ability to control the emotions, to enhance the relationship with the parents, teachers, and peers, to increase motivation and attend the school regularly, to participate in classroom activities actively, to develop understanding the situations in others' point of view, to make them learn to own the responsibility for their actions, and to show better performance in tests and exams, etc. There may be other areas that I have not covered most probably. And finally, I would say counseling is needed for the students today to change to positivity from negativity, to change to relaxed behavior from stress and anxiety, to change to happiness from sadness, to change to enjoyment in doing things from feelings of compulsion in doing things, and to change to love and sympathy from anger and aggression, and finally to change to acceptable and adjustable behavior from irritable and misbehavior. And definitely the school age is the right age in order to make them to take the first step in changing to their behavior to acceptable and adjustable from irritable and misbehavior. And with this, I conclude my sharing. I thank each and everyone present here by name for patiently listening to me. And my heartfelt thanks to my guide, Professor Biji Reddy, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all very much. And I'll be very happy if you can provide me with feedback.
That was really wonderful, ma'am. You
Thank
have
you.
touched every aspect of the child.
Yeah, Ramadevi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she is expecting feedback. Here, our core committee member, Senior Professor Krishnamurthy sir is there. Let him give feedback of the speaker today. Professor Krishnamurthy sir.
Yes, sir. I listened to Dr. Chinni Chaiman. She has covered all the areas, particularly of the high school level, that is post-childhood and early adolescent ages. So in that, I too, as I have gone through in studies, the need with regard to physical health and development, then with their vocational aspect, with their educational aspects, with the adjustment to parents, adjustment to teachers and peers also. She has under 5 headings there, she has covered all the issues that are seen. So the need has increased like anything because of the transition that happens in that particular age level. The teachers will have to be sensitized, parents will have to be sensitized with regard to these needs. So with this, I compliment Dr. Chini Simon for her excellent presentation.
Thank you very much, sir. We need your blessings from people like you, elders like you.
We are all in the same boat, madam. I may be in the front, you may be following, that's all. With many years of experience that we have worked in this area, I may be in the first line, but you are following. It's good.
Yeah, she is the second PhD candidate submitted in the area of, I think, dyslexia.
Dyscalculia, sir.
Sorry, dyscalculia. Yeah, because she happened to be a math teacher. She, depending on their areas, I think in our university, I am the first person distributed the problems if they're related to their working areas. But I came to know, but as you all know that there are some people, they just say adolescent means adolescence, then old age means old age, then industrial means industrial area only. So like that, they just, of course, that is their willingness and whatever it might be. But as a special case, just more or less 13 candidates out of 16, out of 15 candidates, 13 candidates have submitted and awarded. 2 candidates because they could not submit. And from other universities, there are another 5 candidates got submitted and awarded. So totally, I was fortunate enough, though we got the permission just when I am about to retire, 10 years about to retire. So that means 15 candidates got registered. Out of 15, just I just under my guidance, of course, all the candidates, they're all highly mature and professionals. So God has given me that gift, and they submitted and they got awarded. So under that, she is the second PhD candidate. I still remember. Anyway, just you have spoken so nicely in your area. I really congratulate you. Okay, thank you very much. Yes, sir. Ramadevi.
Good evening, sir. I would like to give a small feedback about Chini Simon, ma'am, sir.
Please.
Really very useful session, ma'am. Thank you so much for discussing most of the problems which we are facing in our high schools today. Happy to know more about you today. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, ma.
Okay, Shahina. Okay, you are right. Because after all, she is your colleague. Today you have come out and you are giving feedback. Okay. Anyway,
Yes.
I'm really happy. Okay, all right. But you know, regarding yesterday, I think the other day, counselor characteristics, Professor Subhashini Madam just gave a lecture.
Yes,
what I suggest the participants, I think already I just put up a message also in the Wcop, that training WhatsApp group also.
Yes, sir.
So whatever, see, you just case 1, case 2. Just remove, strike it out, case 1, strike, okay, case 2. Then same counselor characteristics. Instead of case 1, you just make it as a page 1. Instead of case 2, you make it as a page 2. So that means in those 2 sheets, you can write down counselor characteristics. And similarly, today, Dr. Chini Simon delivered a lecture on the problems related to in known just in working area. And here also same similar such pattern procedure you please follow and submit to the just record sheets to the respective coordinator, our Professor Ashok. Okay.
Okay, sir. So we should make it 1, sir. Those 2 records, we should make it 1. Yes, sir.
Yeah, enough. 2 pages. 2 pages.
Okay.
Yeah, theory means for your information 2 pages. If there are any again, so what I suggest you, I have been just requesting. See, we worked in universities, but all the time I give problems. Whereas I have been requesting you people who are working at the school level, primary level, as well as at the high school level. You are the best people to give many more problems. So I think
So,
today happened to be 16th session on Monday, and instead of Tuesday, just a little bit one day I prepone. Okay, so
so
I think minimum 24 sessions in case just 25. So still, I think 7 or sessions are there. So ample
sir, do
time
we
is also
discuss
there.
the
What, Sahina?
sir, do we discuss the problems in further sessions or otherwise
You
only
see,
theoretical classes? Sir?
no, I am giving ample time. If you just
Okay.
submit, I think I have covered majority. But you are the best people, right people, working at school level. You just,
So,
you might be, you are the best people, better people. You can come across, you might have come across many problems related to students or the students' parents, father and mother, and regarding
so,
their culture. You see,
so,
why I am talking about culture. See, there are several court cases also. In during when Janagana Mana, some of the Muslim boys they just have not uttered loudly. So that's
yes, sir.
why the other culture, other just caste people or teachers punished them. But
So,
they just they are reluctant, but they don't want. Like that,
yes, sir.
so many cultural disputes are also there. So that I have studied in law soon after
So,
completion. So I have come across such problems in school level. But you are there directly. You are experiencing, facing many more problems. What I
yes,
request
sir.
all the there are about 25 to 26 participants are there. So just make use of this platform. If there are any other problems, you just send it to that your WhatsApp group, so that any of the teachers, say next session, our I think Professor Krishnamurthy sir is going to handle. Like that, any teacher, any professor can just solve those problems. Because the 5 to 6 sessions are there, try to make use of it. Okay, all the best.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Ramadevi.
Yes, sir. Okay, that was really a wonderful session for today. So I heartily congratulate Cindy Simon ma'am. Before I wind up, I just want to have a quick summary of this today's session. She has already she has discussed the need of counseling in different situations, especially for the young children who are school going right from elementary to the high school level. She has started in a physical situation where the need of counseling is required. The physical situations like the physical appearance and the reasons behind it. She has given an example of that as well, and the hygienic conditions, what they are facing in the school situations, and how the people will be treating them, and why the counseling is needed to such people, and emotional situation, how to regulate them. So the anger, hurt, the positive emotions and the negative emotions, how to handle them. And again, with an example, she has explained it very well. So expectations of the parents and expectations of the teachers, how much it is causing stress to them and how much they are struggling to come up of it and committing suicide due to the overwhelming stress. And she has also reported the status of the suicidal cases in India, especially in teens. So she has also touched the social and cultural aspect where they have discussed about the bullying and the discrimination, what some students are facing it with a beautiful example, and the parents, the family situations and the economic situations, the social life of the families where the children are facing it, and why do they need counseling? The need of the counseling in different situations. He has explained it very well. So he has also given He has also said that counseling is needed to change from positive to negative to positive change, and the stress from stress to joy, and change of love and sympathy from anger. And also she has also said that acceptable and adjusting behavior from misbehavior and retreat. This is how she has explained that in every situation she has given a beautiful example to understand where the need of counseling is important. And she also said that people have been becoming possessive in nature, and teachers are having less time to impart ethics and etiquette. So how depression and anxiety are leading to the suicidal cases in this. So the mental health has to be the priority even from the childhood. So this is it, madam. If I missed any point, just uh, please adjust. And I would like to thank all the committee members and all the participants who have been patiently listening to to all the sessions and every session, and inquiring or uh, clearing their doubts. So I heartfully thank all the core committee members and all the participants, chief guests and guests of honor for making their time and make giving an opportunity for everyone to learn something in each session. Thank you everyone and have a good evening.
Yeah, and 17th session will be on Monday. I just kept now only that voucher in the Wcop website, training website of you. Kindly make it a note. Monday, we are going to have the session that is 17th. Okay. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, Ramadevi, for anchoring, for leading the session and
Thank you,
thanking
sir.
us.
My pleasure.
Okay.